Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be doing I'm pretty sure it's part 7 of what if Naruto was OP and neglected. So, last part, we left off the tuning exam finals on a cliffhanger. Oh, by the way, I forgot to add Gaara. I forgot to add Gaara into the mix. Sorry, but last minute changes. Gaara's gonna be part of the finals. So it's gonna be a 5-way battle. Yeah. So the final is gonna be a 5-way battle because there's 5 people. Sorry about the change, but I really needed a better plot and I forgot about the Konoha Crush arc. So yeah. So everyone now was standing in the field. Gaara on that side, Menma on that side, Mito on that side, Sasuke and Naruto on that side. Earlier, Menma and Mito discussed and they wanted to team up against Naruto. Sasuke was gonna team up with Mito, so that left Gaara and Naruto to team up, but all they did was work together, but they didn't team up. So, Gaara is still his insane version, except he feels calmer around Naruto. So, he feels a bit calmer around Naruto since of his personality. So, when the match started, Sasuke, Menma, and Mito threw lots of shurikens, then said, Shuriken Kagebushin, and basically shadow shuriken jutsu, shadow clone shuriken jutsu. The 10 shuriken that each of them threw multiplied into 40s and 50s. So sending like around almost 150 shurikens at both Gaara and Naruto. Gaara used the sand and blocked all of the shurikens, while Naruto just used the Kamui without anyone noticing, and the shurikens flashed right through him. What the hell is he? Sasuke thought as he was about to throw a kunai at him. Menma grabbed Sasuke's hand before he threw the kunai. Sasuke, no, it's useless. And Sasuke nodded. Naruto stood there and Gaara also stood there. Gaara had his sand already under the ground and it was already making his way towards Menma and Mito. Mito sensed something about the ground was weird and she jumped up, telling Menma and Sasuke to also jump up. Sasuke jumped up, but Mito was a bit late. The sand was able to wrap around Menma's legs, and the sand kept going. Mito tried using her Rasengan to blast the sand away, but while doing so, the sand just wrapped its way around the Rasengan, wrapping Mito's arm, pulling her down to the ground. Sasuke used the fire jutsu that melted the sand that was coming towards him. The sand turned into glass and shattered when it fell to the floor. So, Sasuke took out his sword and cut the sand very quickly to allow a small gap for Menma to escape and Mito. And then Menma helped Mito while Sasuke was dealing with Gaara. Sasuke used a great fireball jutsu against Gaara, to which Gaara responded with his great sand ball. Basically a copy of the fireball jutsu except made out of sand. The fire collided with the sand, turning it to glass, which crashed onto the floor. Sasuke quickly threw a pair of kunais and another pair of shurikens. The kunais hit the sand that Gaara used to block, and Sasuke threw a wave of And Sasuke had string connected to his shuriken. When the shuriken impaled the sand, I'm pretty sure the sand is the magnet release is a mixture of wind and earth, so lightning should be effective against it. And Sasuke charged lightning through the string, lightning chakra through the string, that was able to shatter, that was able to weaken the sand wall. So Sasuke ran up and kicked the sand wall, to which it shattered due to the lightning chakra weakening it. The lightning chakra wasn't able to break sand wall because the wind chakra was there, which is effective against lightning chakra. Sorry about that, but lightning chakra is good against the earth chakra, so yeah. Memma and Mito both combined their Rasengans into a larger version and charged to Naruto. Seeing that Naruto was standing still and pretended to sleep, they tried to drive the Rasengan into him, but the Rasengan hit something before it was able to reach Naruto. Ripples of pure chakra started rippling out in every direction as the Rasengan crashed into something bluish. When they pulled the Rasengan back, it went back to nothing again. Naruto stood up and said, "What are you doing?" They tried smashing the Rasengan into him again, but it was blocked again by some barrier. So after one final clash with both Mito and Memma sending more chakra, the Rasengan exploded, sending Memma and Mito flying one way and Naruto the other way. Naruto quickly did a few flips in mid-air and regained his footing, but Memma wasn't so lucky. He crashed into the wall while Mito slid across the floor. While Sasuke was dealing with Gaara, Menma and Mito couldn't even reach Naruto. What are you using? Menma screamed at him, and the fourth Hokage was also wondering what he was doing. Simple. It's a barrier jutsu. But I don't see any seals or scrolls. And Naruto said, exactly. It's a jutsu, not a seal. And Menma was puzzled since the Uzumaki clan created the barrier seals and there was no way that chakra can be turned into something like that. Since Gaara-san was visible, something like that. No, it's my own technique. I've been working on this since a long time ago. It's really funny to watch you try and break the barrier. This is the barrier that you were trying to break was a barrier that any Genin can make, as long as they know how to use my technique and they have the sufficient chakra usage. The fourth Hokage pondered upon this, and Kushina was like, "Damn, why did we abandon him? He was able to make a barrier jutsu without seals." Naruto put his hands in his cross formation, doing his infamous Shadow Clone Jutsu, to which Menma responded with his own army of Shadow Clones. Mito, using a few seals, was able to flow up into the sky. Mito was throwing barrage after barrage of kunais, shurikens, and senbon. That when it was about to reach Naruto, it stopped moving and like it was frozen in midair. It was frozen in time, and then fell to the floor. While Menma was competing with Naruto's army. Naruto's army didn't have the barrier jutsu that Naruto was using, but they could easily do a barrier jutsu anytime they needed. Naruto started meditating. Naruto started meditating inside his barrier, while Menma and Mito tried destroying it, but doing no work against it. All of Naruto's clones also sat down in a lotus position and started meditating with their own barriers around them. There were Menma's and Mito's Rasengan was able to destroy some of the clones' barriers, but it proved to be very exhausting for both of them. Meanwhile, Sasuke was pushing Gaara back, but he couldn't even lay a scratch on him. While Gaara the entire time was either standing still or just walking backwards. His face proved that he wasn't even trying, while Sasuke was trying all he could. Sasuke said, "Fine, I want to see how your sand wall holds up against this." He started doing a few hand seals and grabbed his wrist, and lightning started enveloping his hand. Gaara's eyes widened and he surrounded himself completely with sand. Sasuke charged at Gaara, and he was able to pierce the sand wall and pierce through Gaara. But Gaara melted into sand, revealing it to be a sand clone. Gaara reappeared as Gaara's shape melted out of the sand wall and slowly regained its color. Gaara now knows how to turn his body into sand and hide there. Except that he couldn't see anything or hear anything, and he couldn't stay there for long since he can't breathe in that state. When Sasuke jumped back, Gaara started twitching since the one-tailed inside his seal was trying to drive Gaara crazy to release him. After 5 minutes of constant meditation, Naruto's eyes, the area around Naruto's eyes started to have orange pigmentation, and his eyes turned yellow with a yellow slit going horizontally. Menma and Mito stepped back in fear since they knew exactly what Naruto was using, Sage Mode. And the former Hokage was shocked, since he never traveled to Mount Myoboku since he didn't have the seal. He didn't have the contract. And Jiraiya was also surprised since he hadn't given Naruto the contract yet, since he already has his own, the Fox contract. Since Naruto already has his Fox contract. Actually, never mind. Well, let's just say that he had the Fox contract. Minato was like, "Jiraiya, what exactly did you teach him?" And Jiraiya stepped back and said, "I didn't teach him anything. I didn't even give him the contract. I don't know how he's doing that." And Minato sighed. Kushina was wide-eyed, seeing that they had just abandoned the kid, their own biological son, that had such great amount of skill. Naruto has his red cloak and a scroll behind him. And then Menma and Mito charged at him using the Rasengan, since they saw the barrier around Naruto started to melt down, like in pieces of squares. So Menma and Mito made their own Odama Rasengan, which is like huge giant Rasengans, and Naruto complied with his regular Rasengan. Menma and Mito's like laughing at him. "Look at you! You're still using the regular Rasengan. We are using the true form of the Rasengan, the completed form," they said, pointing towards their giant Rasengans, to which Naruto laughed again. "Are you sure? I have completed the final step that not even your father can do, Lord Fourth Hokage. Watch carefully." Naruto expanded his Rasengan. Naruto put his hand in the air, the one that contained the Rasengan. The Rasengan started expanding and stopped when it was about 1.5 times the size of a regular Rasengan. A disc started forming around the Rasengan, and the disc started getting larger. Then the disc started spinning and taking the form of a shuriken. This is one of the true forms of the Rasengans. Yours is just an amplified version. Let me show you. Naruto threw it at Mema and Mito, to which the fourth Hokage flashed to them and teleported them away to somewhere safe. Gaara was now at the edge of the stadium, away from Naruto, completely wrapped in his sand, while Sasuke jumped up and was on the civilian railings. The shuriken that hit the floor, and a huge explosion occurred. The explosion was completely white, with air rotating inside extremely fast. The explosion sent shockwaves through the stadium, making the ground shake and the walls are starting to crack. Then, a small ring around the initial explosion, the sphere of white, started appearing, also white, and more shockwaves started appearing. Those tiny wind chakra senbon that formed when using the Rasen Shuriken was hitting the walls, causing the walls to crack and buckle. When the explosion died down, Gaara was knocked out and the sand completely shattered. The entire wall, the entire stadium wall was completely destroyed, with the civilian stands held up by the wall from the outside and a few pillars that was under. The only reason why, and Naruto now said out loud, that was actually not the strongest version of the Rasen Shuriken. That was just me doing it. I didn't add any sage chakra to it. And it was actually a pretty small one. The only reason why it didn't destroy the entire stadium was that I suppressed the explosion, but allowed shockwaves to get through. The fourth Hokage was even more shocked, and Jiraiya was stepping back. But Naruto knocked out Gaara, which meant he was sleeping, and which the one-tailed Shukaku took control of this and started expanding. Well, Gaara's body started enveloped in sand. At first, it was only half his body, with those blue marks that belonged to the Shukaku. Slowly, both halves got covered, and it started getting bigger and bigger, until it was the size of the stadium. Kakashi was surprised at what's going on, and Sakura was like, why isn't anyone screaming? And when she looked around, everyone completely fell asleep. All the civilians were fast asleep, and Sakura started feeling a bit tired and dizzy, and collapsed on the floor like a heap. So, yeah. Sasuke also fell to the floor, and Kakashi was able to resist it. So did my guy. While they were taking out enemy Sound Ninja, Kurenai and Asuma was already outside of the stadium, taking care of the invaders outside. A huge explosion occurred outside. And there was a huge snake summon, wrecking his way into this village. On the streets, there were konoha ninja running in all directions, going to all of the battle zones. Civilians running, trying to escape the enemy ninja, and the fourth Hokage teleported away, going to help against the big summon that would do the most damage to the village. Within the first few minutes of battle, dead bodies were already laid everywhere. Both civilian, konoha ninja, sand ninja, and sound ninja, though Konoha sustained a lot of casualties. Naruto made 4 clones which ran to the corners of the stadium and created a barrier. The clones yelled out, "4 corners, flame formation!" And a purplish barrier materialized around the Shukaku and Naruto. Naruto yelled out, "I'll take care of the Shukaku. You guys go evacuate the civilians and take care of the village." And everyone and Sasuke and Mema nodded. Even though they hated Naruto, they couldn't help listen to him since that was what their father ordered them to do. Even Naruto isn't their father, but I was saying their father said the same thing to them since they already knew about the Konoha invasion, except they didn't know about the Shukaku coming. But before the barriers was able to completely form, a few ninjas was able to get in. Baki, Tamari, and Kankuro. Alright, this is where the video will end. Sub to my channel please and like, and tell me in the comment section if it works. What do you want me to do for another video? Or you can just go to another video of mine that has comment enabled, like the Legacy series. I'm pretty sure all of them have comment enabled. Thanks for watching my videos, and I love you, my fans. Goodbye.